So, it's not obviously just the collecting of these fine old air rifles that is the attraction. Once you start collecting air rifles, these old vintage ones, it's all the history and story that goes with them. The fascinating backdrop, how they were developed, how they were changed, how the patents were moved around. And as you can see, over time, you end up with a good selection of really beautiful rifles. This is a small part of my collection. Others have got huge collections, obviously. I've got about 25 different vintage air rifles in my collection now. So this is the Breedlin Armory Greener. Beautiful gun, really nice. Very impressed with this rifle. It's a forerunner of the true Greeners. And that there is a Greener camlock. Then I've got my old BSA Model D, improved Model D, with the number 8 peep sight now fitted on it. This thing's shooting a dream now. The lightweight L series or Lady series rifle. Again, a really nice rifle. That one shoots really well. Really nice balance on that little one, actually. And then this one, which is the Midland Gun Company Demon. And particularly like this one. This one shoots well. And not only that, I really love all this really fancy engraving that's on this rifle. It's really nice. Just gives it a touch of class. You know, you just don't see that sort of level of work on the rifles these days. Really nice. Cracking gun, that is. One of my favourites. But it isn't just the rifles, as I was saying. They form just a small part of it. The other part is made up of things like pellets and adverts and old literature. And here you can see my collection of old pellets, pellet boxes, slug boxes and little sachets and things. Some are considerably older than others. Little oil tin there, a Park Hale oil tin. Greener pamphlet and a BSA catalogue, as well as different types of pellets, Beetles, Wittens, adders, the old Marksmans there. More Beetles, Wasteds, Webleys, all sorts of bits and pieces. And some old Bulldog and Wasp pellets. So it's all the other bits and pieces that go with it. And you soon find that you end up with all sorts of stuff. It is addictive. So it's not just the rifles, it's all the other paraphernalia that go with them. And there's something about these old guns. I mean, you get like limited edition air rifles these days and people think that they're buying something really special because supposedly it's a limited edition. Well, I'm sorry, but they're not really that limited. They've sometimes got a slightly fancier stock than the bog standard rifle, and that's about as far as it goes usually. Everything else is pretty much the same. Still made out of cheap alloy castings in most cases. Even the better ones are made out of alloy castings these days, held together with split pins, bits of plastic all over the shop, inside and outside on them. You know, when you think these guns, some of these here, the bottom one, the old BSA there, the improved Model D, is over 112 years old. 112 years old. Still shoots as good probably as the day it was bought. Everything's solid on them. Proper screws, and the screws all had keeper screws. There's no split, cheap, nasty split pins in these things. All walnut stocks. Really nice. Proper metal, all made out of steel. No aluminium alloys or anything. Proper steel, and that's what's made them last so long, I think, because the fact is, because it's steel, if a thread goes with a steel, you can re-tap it and it'll last. If you try and re-tap aluminium, usually aluminium alloys, they start to crumble eventually and they don't take the tapping very well. These things, because they're all made out of steel, when you tap them, that thread lasts. And with the keeper screws and all the rest of it, they're just made to last, and they're so easy to fix and repair. You know, new mainspring and a new washer. You can even make the washers out of old bits of boot and old bits of leather belt. They just keep going and going and going. I'm quite confident that this rifle here, well, all of these rifles for that matter, will still be going in another 100 years. As long as they're kept away from the rain and the damp, there's no reason these won't be going for another 100 years. They're that solidly built. And if any parts do wear, because they're all made out of steel, it's fairly easy to get someone to fabricate a new part for you. And they're rare. Some of these are far rarer than the rarest of those supposed limited edition air rifles that you get, that people seem to show so much pride in. You know, the greener Cambacks, to get one in really good condition that's still working nicely. Super scarce rifle. Super scarce. The Demon Deluxe. Again, another rare rifle. Even the BSA improved Model Ds, the early ones, are quite scarce these days, especially the straight stock ones like this one. And this Braidlin Armory one, you know, the serial number of this is in like 2 numbers. They made hardly any of these rifles. And yet here it is, still in great condition, still shooting really well. Collecting airguns is addictive and great fun. And the best of it is, even the most expensive of these rifles, even the very best, is still coming in at probably half the price of a mid-range PCP. It's mad. Can you still hunt with them? Yeah, the Greener generates about 10 foot-pounds. I've got an improved Model D in .22 caliber, the 45-inch big rifle. That's generating about 10.5 to nearly 11 foot-pounds with the right pellets. So you can still use them for hunting. You won't put a telescopic sight on them, obviously, so your range is going to be dictated by your eyesight, and you're probably still only looking at 30 yards maximum. But you can still hunt with them. And you've got something that's super rare, great historical, it's got history behind it. Fantastic rifles. I mean, look at them. Incredible things for the age of them. Beautiful, beautiful things. Even the old pellet tins and things looked better aesthetically. Fantastic things. Thanks for watching.